Hello everyone and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you my way on how I prepare charro beans.
Did you say charro beans?
Yes, I did say charro beans, so join us in the preparation of this recipe. To get started, I'm going to start by cleaning 2 cups of pinto beans thoroughly. You can do this by placing the beans in a colander and rinsing them with water until they are completely clean. While pinto beans are my preferred choice, feel free to use any other type of bean of your choice. Once the beans are clean, you will need to soak them in warm water, or cold water if you are soaking them overnight. To soak the beans, use a container that can hold at least 4 to 5 cups, as the beans will expand as they soak. Place the beans in the container and cover them with warm water. The water should be about 2 inches above the level of the beans. Allow the beans to soak while we prepare the rest of the ingredients. I'm going to use 3 large garlic cloves, 3 serrano peppers or jalapeños if you prefer it less spicy, or cut it down to 1 serrano pepper, 2 to 3 Roma tomatoes. These are fairly large, so I'm only going to use 2. Chop the tomato, onion, and serrano peppers into small pieces just like if you were making pico de gallo. To reduce the heat level in the dish, you can also choose to remove the seeds from the serrano peppers before chopping them. Serrano peppers tend to be very hot, and their seeds can be quite potent. Therefore, if you have sensitive skin, I highly suggest you use gloves when handling them. But if you don't have gloves on hand, make sure to wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water after handling the peppers. This is because the oil of the peppers can linger on your skin and can cause much discomfort if you touch your eyes or face. Lastly, finely mince the garlic. At this point, the beans have been soaking for about 30 minutes, and as you can see, they have expanded in size. We're going to set this aside while on a separate cutting board, we're going to chop 1 pound of bacon into small pieces. Using a heavy bottom pot or a Dutch oven pot, brown the bacon over medium-high heat for 12 to 15 minutes or until golden. Remove the bacon and place it on a plate lined with a clean paper towel to absorb the excess fat. Remove some of the excess fat rendered from the bacon, leaving about 3 to 4 tablespoons of the fat and the bits of bacon to sauté the garlic, onion, tomato, and jalapeños for 12 to 15 minutes over medium-high heat. Once they are withered down like this, we're going to add in some seasonings. I'm going to use half a teaspoon of salt. If we need more salt later on, we can always add more. Black pepper, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1/4 of a teaspoon of cumin, and 1 tablespoon of New Mexico chili powder. Mix in the seasonings, ensuring that it's evenly distributed in the mixture, before adding 8 cups of water. Before adding the beans, drain out the soaking water and rinse them once more, then add the beans to the pot. Mix well to ensure everything is incorporated. Bring to a boil over high heat. Once it reaches a boil, turn down the burner to low and cover for 2.5 to 3 hours. During the cooking process, it is important to keep a close eye on the water level. Depending on the type of pot you are using, the rate at which the water evaporates may vary. Therefore, it is recommended to check the water level every hour to ensure it's still at a good level. If you find that the water level has decreased, you may need to add more water to prevent the food from burning or sticking to the bottom of the pot. After 2.5 hours, the beans are just about done. And now for the final step to complete this delicious recipe. In a separate pan, cook 10 ounces of longaniza. I personally prefer to use longaniza because it has a much firmer texture than chorizo. However, if you can't find longaniza, you can substitute it with chorizo or homemade chorizo. And if you need a recipe for homemade chorizo, I provided a link to that video in the description of this video, along with all the ingredients we used to prepare this recipe. After 10 to 12 minutes, the chorizo should be fully cooked. At this point, add half of the brown bacon, reserving the other half for garnishing the dish when serving. Chop one 12-ounce package of your preferred hot dogs, and if you're not a fan of hot dogs, you can also use ham. Cook these ingredients with the chorizo for 4 to 5 minutes. And before adding it to the pot with the beans, using an immersion blender, insert the immersion blender a couple of times to give the beans a thicker consistency. If you don't own an immersion blender, you can also remove 1 cup of the beans and blend it in the blender. Then add it back into the pot. Mix it well and cover for an additional 20 to 30 minutes. At this point, you can also add more water if needed, and adjust the salt if needed. I did add 1 tablespoon of chicken bouillon to add more flavor to the dish. Serve these frijoles charros in deep bowls. Top it off with crumbled queso fresco, freshly chopped cilantro, and more bacon. And a side of warm corn tortillas to complete the meal. This hearty and flavorful bean recipe makes a perfect complement to your carne asada or any other grilled meats. No matter how you choose to serve it, I am confident that you will absolutely love this dish. If you prepare this recipe in your home, let us know how you like it. And if you added your own personal touch, we would love to hear about it. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we can't wait to see you in our next video. Thank you for watching.